ராமானுஜதயாபாத்திரம் ஞானவைராக்யபூஷணம் ஸ்ரீமத்வேங்கடநாதார்யம் வந்தே வேதாந்ததேசிகம் லக்ஷ்மீநாதசமாரம்பாம் நாதயாமுனமத்தியமாம் அஸ்மதாச்சாரியபர்யந்தாம் வந்தே குருபரம்பராம் யோ நித்யமச்சுதபதாம்புஜயுக்மருக்மவ்யாமோஹதஸ்ததிதராணி த்ரிணாய மேனே அஸ்மத்குரோர்பகவதோஸ்ய தயைகசிந்தோஹோ ராமானுஜஸ்ய சரணௌ சரணம் பிரபத்யே மாதா பிதா யுவதயஸ்தனயா விபூதிः சர்வம் யதேவ நியமேன மதன்வயானாம் ஆத்யஸ்ய நः குலபதேர்வகுலாபிராமம் ஸ்ரீமத் ததங்கிரியுகலம் பிரணமாமி மூர்த்னா பூதம் சரஸ்ச மஹதாஹ்வய பட்டநாத ஸ்ரீபக்திசார குலசேகர யோகிவாஹான் பக்தாங்கிரேணு பரகால யதீந்திரமிஸ்ரான் ஸ்ரீமத் பராங்குஷமுனிம் பிரணதோஸ்மி நித்யம். நாராயணம் நமஸ்கிருத்ய நரஞ்சைவ நரோத்தமம் தேவீம் சரஸ்வதீம் வியாசம் ததோ ஜெயம் உதீரயேத். வியாசம் வசிஷ்டநப்தாரம் சக்தேஃ பௌத்ரம் அகல்மஷம் பராசராத்மஜம் வந்தே சுகதாதம் தபோநிதிம். வியாசாய விஷ்ணுரூபாய வியாசரூபாய விஷ்ணவே நமோ வை பிரம்மநிதயே வாசிஷ்டாய நமோ நமः. வேதேஷு பௌருஷம் சூக்தம் தர்மசாஸ்திரேஷு மானவம் பாரதே பகவத்கீதா புராணேஷு ச வைஷ்ணவம். Namaskarams to all the Astikas who have gathered here on such a fine evening. For those of them who have been attending this series for the first time, this is the third in the series because we have already completed two parts, part 1 of Purusha Suktam and part 2 of Purusha Suktam at the same premises, same venue. So I will be very quickly reading out the meaning of the first 8 mantras that we have gone through. But this time I'm going to read out the saram in Sanskritam. So since how many of you were present either for 1 or 2 or both? Oh, so I think you all need no revision. So Vedeshu Paurusham Suktam. Purusha Suktam is present in all the 4 Vedas. The number of mantras may differ, but it is there in all the 4 Vedas. So the first mantra reads Sahasra Shirsha Purusha Sahasraksha Sahasrapat Sabhumim Vishwato Vritva Atyatishthad Dashangulam. What is the meaning? The Tatparyam is Shirash Shabdasya Shirsha Chandasi iti Sutrena Shirshan Adeshaha Sahasra Shabdaha Anantavachi. So the number Sahasra means innumerable and not 1,000. I've been repeating this time and again. But if you take it literally, Sahasrakshaha, Akshi means eye. Sahasrakshaha means 1,000 eyes. In Tamil, in the Tamil language, the word for Sahasra is Ayiram and the word for Akshi is Kan. So Sahasrakshaha, you must be used to a lot of them naming themselves Kannayiram. If you have come across this nama, Kannayiram. So the root is Purusha Suktam for that. But he will be coming on YouTube and saying that I don't agree with Vedas. But the root for his nama will be, for Kannayiram will be Purusha Suktam. So, Sahasra Shabdaha Anantavachi. Purushaha Purnatvat Purushaha. Purnatvam, the one who's a repository of all attributes. In Tamil, he's called Nambi. Vaishnava Nambi. We say Nambi doesn't mean Nambikai. It doesn't mean I trust in him. Nambi means the one who is a repository of all auspicious attributes. Purnatvat Purushaha. Yoyam Sahasra Shirsha Saha Purushaha Sahasrakshaha Sahasrapacha Saha Bhumyat Atilokajatam Vishwato Vyapya Dashangulam Atikramya Atishthata. Atra Dashangula Shabdartha Uchyate Dashasankhyaanguli Parimito Vachanona किंतु अपरिच्छिन्नस्य पुरुषस्य परिच्छेद प्रसंगात् तर्हि दशांगुल शब्दः अनंतयोज वचनः प्रपंचादूर्ध्वम् अनंतयोजनान्तीत्य अत्यतिष्ठत् इत्यर्थः. So here, like how the word sahasra doesn't mean 1,000 and it denotes something which is innumerable, so is the number dashangulam. Dasha doesn't exactly denote 10. It means he is very close to your heart, because one of the commentators said, From your mouth to your heart, you can traverse till the Paramatma. But in each of the races, like say the China race, the yellow race, the yellow colored race, the Indian DNA, the dimensions of the body can vary. If someone takes this excerpt and says, no, sir, it is not Dashangulam, it is somewhere around 12 for me and 13 for me, the commentator is able to easily guess what kind of questions we will ask. So he says, Dasha, don't take it in the number sense. Say or think that he is very close to your heart. Dashangulam. So this is the first mantra. Second, Purusha Veda Gum Sarvam Yadbhutam Yaccha Bhavyam Uta Amritatvasya Ishanaha Yadannenati Rohati. That is the second mantra. What is the meaning? See, I am reading out the meaning in Sanskritam because as we get into Vedas, the Vedanta, which is the Upanishads, we should slightly get accustomed to the terms. It is very, very tough for any speaker, at least for me, to literally translate every word in Sanskritam. So, there are, some people say there are Sanskrit non-translatables. You cannot exactly translate. So here it is very easy. We understand Squid Game, Korean, we understand Roshoman, Japanese. But when it comes to Sanskritam, somehow we start frowning. That should not be the scenario. It is very easy. Prathamataya. Prathamataya means first. So he talks about the first mantra. This is called Sangati. Please remember this. Sangati means where you make connection. See, whenever you comment on Vedas, Vedanta, Ramayana, Mahabharata, because these are all Mukhya Pramanams for us, the commentator will make sure that they always give the connection. See, if there is a shloka before, if there is a shloka later, you have to connect that. You cannot just leave that in silos. I'll give you an example. Like giving examples itself is taking more time in my lectures. I can't help it. One example is in Ashtamaskandam, because all of you are used to Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavata Mahapuranam. In the Ashtamaskandam, which is the 8th canto, in English it is canto, in Sanskritam it is Skandam. In the Ashtamaskandam, in the 2nd chapter, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 3 chapters, you come across an important narration told by Shuka to Parikshit. It is called Gajendra Moksha Varnanam. Okay. I will tell you, within this itself, if you see, the first chapter of the 8th canto states what all avatars the Lord took. It talks about a rishi called Harimedhas. And Harimedhas had a wife called Harini. And this Harimedhas and Harini had a son called Hari. Very nice family. Their ration card would look very easy. Harimedhas, Harini and Hari. Shuka Brahmam goes one extra step to state that it is this Hari who became the one who protected the bruised elephant. He is Harimedhas' son. Then going to the 2nd chapter, he relates to Gajendra Moksham. Now, who is this Harimedhas? For that, you have to read canto number 5. This Harimedhas has another name. His name is Dharma. There was a rishi called Dharma. He married the daughter of Daksha Prajapati. Her name was Murti. So Murti and Dharma gave rise to 2 sons. They were twins. Number 1, number 2 were twins. One was called Nara. The other was called Narayana. This Dharma Maharishi, whose other name is Harimedhas, married Harini and had a son called Hari, who is the 3rd son in that order. And he is the one who protected Gajendra. Now, how do we know that this is the order for which? You have to refer to a book called Pancharatra Raksha. In Pancharatra Raksha, Vedanta Deshika states, early in the morning, when you wake up, what should you do? He says, Harir, 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 Hari. 7 times you have to say Hari, he says. Who is that Hari? This Hari, number 3, 3rd son. He refers to that in Pancharatra Raksha. Now, alongside, let us come back to canto number 8 in Bhagavatam. In canto number 8, 4th chapter, 31st verse. When Gajendra Moksham gets over, Shuka tells Parikshit, Parikshit, You have listened to how the Lord released and relieved the bruised elephant from the jaws of the ferocious crocodile. You have heard Gajendra Moksham Parikshit. From now on, whoever experiences bad dreams should listen to Gajendra Moksham, is the Phalashruti in Bhagavatam. Now you have understood this. Now I am going to take you to Ramayanam. Where does this come in Ramayanam, sir? See, when Kamban wrote the Tamil Ramayanam, every time he describes Rama, he will say, Rama looks like the very Lord who protected the elephant from the crocodile. Karamalayattalar kaikariyaithe aravanai tuilvo ena annal viravi veppayarukku Raman ena payar indanan. Every time he comes across Rama, he'll say he looks like Gajendra Varada. Why? In the Ramayana, you're able to follow? Okay, yeah. In the Ramayana, when Dasharatha passes away, Rama doesn't come back. He is in the forest. It is only Bharata who goes and informs Rama later that the father is dead. Because Rama made a clear rule, I will keep my phone in the aeroplane mode. I should not receive even one message from Ayodhya, he said. So Sumantra said, no chance, he will not come. The irony is, when Dasharatha passed away, none of his sons were nearby. Rama and Lakshmana were in the forest. They were oblivious of the fact that the father is dead. Bharata and Shatrughna were in Kekeya Desham. But the beauty is, when the messengers are being dispatched by Vasishtha to go to Kekeya and inform Bharata, that night, when even before the messengers could arrive, Bharata experiences bad dreams. And towards the end of it, Shatrughna says, my brother, I'm very, very startled to see what kind of dreams, bad dreams you're experiencing. I will make you listen to certain stories. There is a shlokam there, which will help you get rid of bad dreams. What is that story? Where is that answer for that? It comes in Bhagavatam. You see how they are connected? So now there is another part here that also I'll complete, because the cycle is not over. Now you may wonder, no sir, Bhagavatam came after Ramayanam. People will get into the same thing. Bhagavatam came after Ramayanam. How can you say that Gajendra Moksham happened before Rama's time? Remember, most of the incidents mentioned in Bhagavatam happened before Rama's time. The narration happened after Rama's time. You're able to get the difference? Just because Shuka, Vyasa come after Valmiki doesn't mean that everything that they narrate would have happened only after Rama. It happened before Rama but was narrated after Rama. Now, let's go to another incident in Bhagavatam. In this Gajendra Moksham itself, Gajendra Moksham is one very clearly known incident which happened in the south of India. Rama Avataram, Krishna Avataram, they all happened in Uttar Pradesh. Where Rama traveled through Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, that is different. Narasimha Avataram, Varaha Avataram, Kashmir and Pakistan. Vamana Avataram, Bihar till Gujarat. Parashurama Avataram, Madhya Pradesh. Hai Rajya, Maheshwar. So, and Matsya Avataram, Kurma Avataram, it is in the waters. How does it matter whether it's in Arabian Sea or in Bay of Bengal? Not on the land. And where do we... So, Gajendra Moksham is the only avatara which happened in the south of India, to the best of my knowledge. How do we know that? Because in Bhagavatam, interestingly, Shuka gives a list of trees and hills describing Gajendra, which are very native to South India. He says coconut trees, banana trees. He says Malaya Parvatam, Kulakachalam. All these Kulakachalam, they are all Malaya Parvatam. And he also mentions of Pandya Desham, Indradyumnaha, Pandya Kandadi Raja. So there is a mention of Pandya Raja. There is a mention of Indradyumna. There is a mention of the elephant. Elephant in itself is more native to the south of India and Sri Lanka rather than the north of India. So all this we can arrive that this Gajendra Moksham happened in the south. And there is another part there. Agastya is an integral part to Gajendra Moksham because he is the one who curses Indradyumna, the Pandya Raja. Agastya and Pandya kingdom have a close tie. Why? Because in the Tamil literature, you have 3 different periods: early Sangam, middle Sangam, and Kadai Sangam. The middle Sangam had its capital as Kavatam. There is a place called Kavatam. And before Kavatam, it was called Alavai. So Madurai was the capital in the later Sangam period. Earlier, first it was called Alavai. Alavai means that city which is protected by the snakes. How do we know, sir? It is called Uragasya Puri. Uragasya Puri means protected by Uragam, snake. How do we know that? You are only Tamilians know? No. Kalidasa mentions this in Raghuvamsham. When Sunanda, the attendant to Indumati who marries Dasharatha's father Aja, she tells this Pandya king is from Uragasya Puri, that was Alavai, till about 6000 BCE, from the Ice Age till the 6000 BCE. 6000 to 4000, from the Ramayana times, early Ramayana times, till the later Mahabharata times, it was Kavatam. How do we confirm it is Kavatam? In Kishkindha Kandam, when Sugriva tells the Vanaras to go and search, he says Pandya Kavata Puri. He mentions of Kavatam. He says of Tamraparani. Tamraparani emerges from a mountain called Agasthyar Kudam, which is very close to Tirukkurungudi. So Agastya, Gajendra Moksham, its Varnanam, which is very helpful for eradicating bad dreams which was experienced by Bharata, all this connection is called Sangati. For that word Sangati, this was the explanation. So, Prathamaya Richa, the first mantra, Deshato Vyaptim, it says that Paramatma pervades through every bit of space. Uktva Anaya Dvitiyaya, the second Richam, which is Purusha Vedagum Sarvam, says Kalato Vyapti Muchyate, he pervades by time. What is that part in that mantra which says he pervades by time? Very good. Yadbhutam Yacha Bhavyam. That is that particular phrase that covers time. Yadannenati rohati. Then he says, Kincha ayameva purushaha amritatvasya mokshasya ishano bhavati. Sayujjadi chaturvida mokshasya pradata bhavati. So who is this Purusha? He is Paramapurusha, Paramatma, Bhagavan, Ishvara, Narayana. He gives 4 kinds of moksham. Sayujyam, Samipyam, Salokyam, Sarupyam. These are the 4. Yat karyajatam annena adiniyena bhojyadravyena swakaranamatyitya rohinityartaha. Third mantra we are going to go to. Etavanasya mahima atojjayagascha purushaha padosya vishwa bhutani. Those of them who have come for the first time, don't make plans to not come for the next lecture. It will get easy. Padosya vishwa bhutani tripadasyaamritam divi. Third rik. Purushaha, now he clearly states, Narayanaha Paramapurushaha etavan loka parimanaha asya mahima. The one who pervades the entire creation of space and time through his greatness qualities asya mahima vibhuti matram. Ataha etadrisha mahimopetaha purushaha jayan sreshtaha prashasthaha asya jayastvam vyanakti asya paramapurushasya vishwani chara acharatmakani bhutani padomshaha. So, pada means quarter, 1/4. Asya bhogya bhogopakarana bhogya sthana rupasya vastunaha paramapade satvatu tesham tripadat shabdena vyapadishyate. So he says 1/4 is what he has pervaded. Where is 3/4? Answer, I told you now. You have to listen. Vastunaha paramapade satvat. Vaikuntham is the 3/4 remaining. Tena amritam amarana dharmam divi paramapade bhasate ityartaha. Divi, here it says, right, padosya vishwa bhutani tripadasyaamritam divi. That divi means, he says, paramapade. Divi means vaikuntham. Amritam means amarana dharmam. Amarana dharmam means what? Maranam is death. Amaranam is moksham. Amarana dharmam. So, amritam means moksham. Once you get moksham, what is your address change? Vaikuntham. So, he says, divi paramapade ityartaha. Next mantram, 4th one. Tasmad virada jayata. Virajo adhipurushaha. Sajato atyarichyata. Paschad bhumi mathopuraha. तस्मात् व्यापारद्धेतोः विराट् महादधिरूपाणि विविधं राजत इति विराडिति प्रकृतिः उच्यते. विराजः प्रकृतेः परं चतुर्मुखाख्य ब्रह्मा समुत्पन्नः. The first three mantras, who was the Purusha? Narayana. Now we have to deal with another set. Paravasudeva comes as Vyuha Vasudeva and divides himself into three. What's Pa? Tell me that's Pa. Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. Sankarshana is responsible for dissolution. Pradyumna, creation. Aniruddha, sustenance, protection. Now, tasmad vyaparadhetoho virat mahadadirupa vividham rajata iti viraditi prakriti uchyate. Virajaha prakritehe param chaturmukhakyah brahma samutpannaha. Tasya sharira vriddhim darshyate. Chaturmukha jatesmin bhagavad kripaya pravriddhi heto bhut. Anantaram bhumim asrijata. Atra bhumi shabdaha brahmandasya upalakshanam tadanantaram puraha deva manushya tiryagadi vargan sasarja iti seshaha. Now, I think I've missed one mantra. Correct? Tripadurdhva udait purushah. Tripadurdhva udait purushah padosyeha bhavat punaha tato vishwang vyakramat sashana nashane abhi. Vasudeva sankarshana pradyumna rupaha tripad. What are the three? Who are the three that we don't see? Vasudeva, sankarshana, pradyumna. Then he says, Tripat paramapurushaha narayanaha urdhve paramavyomni shrivaikunte udgachata. Asya narayanasya Padaha Chaturthomshaha Aniruddhakyaha Sarvam Jagatratum Punaha Iha Abhavat. First three mantras, what does Purusha denote? From now onwards, it will denote Aniruddha. So Purusha word will not change. The person whom it denotes will change. Now, Tataha Saha Bhagavan Yoga Nidravasane Swasyaiva Tadrupena Bahubhavana Sankalpam Akarot. Sashanam Jangamam Deva Manushyadi Rupam. Anashanam Sthavaram. What is Sashanam mean? That which eats. Anashanam Sthavaram. We should never forget ourselves. We all depend for food, right? Anashanam sthavaram vriksha gulmat latadi rupam sthavara jangamatvat kritsna rupena akaroti ityartaha. Fifth one I've read, tasmad virada jayata. From now onwards, Aniruddha Narayana will become Brahma. Now Brahma is in the form of a very good. Now goat he will become. Yat purushena havisha. Now we are going to perform a drishti yagyam, an illustrative yagyam. Yat purushena havisha deva yagyam atanvata vasanto asyasi rajyam grishma idhma sharad havihi atha chaturmukha brahma swayam jagat srishtim ajanano bhagavad upadishta margena bhagavantam atma samarpana rupena manasa yagena. It is not a open yaga, it is a manasa yagam. Manasa yagam means it happens within our mind, the subconscious mind. Aradhya tat prasada labdha vigyano jagat srishtim akarod iti vaktum prathamataha yagam prastauti. This is the first yagam that happened. Yada chaturmukhakkena pashu havisha deva sadhyakyaha tat indriyani va yajñam dhyanamayam kritavantaha. Tada asya yajñasya vasantakalaha adyamasi. For a yagam, what do you need? What do we need? Ghee. What is the ghee here? Spring season. Vasanta Kala is the spring. That is the ghee. Yadyapi asrishtani padartha jatani tathapi kalasya nityatvat vasanta ajyatvena dhyata asid. Evam grishma kala idhmatvena dhyataha. You have to think of summer as idhma, sticks that is used. Tatha sharat kala, sharat, autumn. Purodashakya havishtatvena dhyata ityartaha. So, you have to think of that season as prodasham. Purodasham means you take flour in a yagam and keep them as adai. Tamil adai njulu. Kannadalli heluvaga ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ? ಇದು ಬೇಳೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಡೆ ತರ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಲ್ವೇ? ಏನದು? ಅದು ಹೋಳಿಗೆ ಅದು ಅದು ಅಡೆ ಅಡೆ ಅಡೈ ಅಡೆ ಅವಳದನೆ. So that maavu ade is called purodasham in yagam. So what is that purodasham? Tatha sharatkalaha purodashakya havishtena dhyata ityartaha. Next, tanyajñam barhishif praukshanna purusham jatam agrataha tena deva ayajanta sadhya rishayaschaye. Prathamataha Jatam Purusham Viradakhyam Yagyam Havihi Barhishi Prakriti Rupa Vedyam Nidhaya Prokshanadi Samskaram. So what do we do Prokshanam on? Idu mele vanano. Kiske upar? On the goat. Who is that goat? Brahma. So on him we sprinkle. Prokshanadi samskaram akurvanna tena brahmana havisha devaha indriyani ajayanta. Yagam akurvanna. Aniruddhagnau brahmarupam havihi prakshiptavantaha ityartaha sadhyaha karma sadhanani vagadi indriyani rishayaha jnana sadhanani chakshuradi indriyani ye sadhya rishayascha ye te devaha tena ayajanta. Now who is witnessing the yagam? See, all this is happening. Somebody should be there to witness. Who's witnessing? Nitya Suris are witnessing. So before Brahma came the Nitya Suris, which is Ananta Garuda Vishwaksena. They are all the Nitya Suris. Next, Tasmad Yajnat Sarvahutaha Sambhritam Prishadajyam Pashugastagas Chakre Vayavyane Aranyan Gramyas Chaye. I think from this I have to take up, right? This is the 9th one. Yeah. So now we are going to go through 3 mantras, one after the other, which is Tasmad Yajnat Sarvahutaha Sambhritam Prishadajyam Pashugastagas Chakre Vayavyana Aranyan Gramyas Chaye. 1. Tasmad Yajnat Sarvahutaha Richasamani Jagnire Chandagumsi Jagnire Tasmat Yajustasmata Jayata. 2. Tasmad Ashva Ajayanta Ekecho Bhayadataha Gavo Jagnire Tasmat Jata Ajavayaha. So we are going to go through 3 mantras together. Now, after Brahma has submitted himself, while Nitya Suris were looking, while the ghee called as Vasanta Ritu, while the sticks called Grishma Ritu, all this was used. What has to emerge? See, when you do reactants together, some product has to come. The products are mentioned. Dadhi Mishram Ajyam. What is Ajyam? Dadhi Mishram. It is just not exactly ghee. You take ghee and mix it with curd. So he says, Dadhi Mishram Ajyam Vayavyan. From that, what all came? Saha Brahma Antariksha Charan Pakshin. All the aerial objects, the birds that you see came. Aranyan. Those that live in the forest, which is Simhadin. All the wild animals came. Gramyaha. Those animals which can be domesticated. Gavadayaha. For example, cow, bull, goat. All this came. So Vayavyan, birds. Aranyan, wild animals. Gramyan, domesticated animals. Srijya prani janana hetu bhutam vichitra varna viryam prishadajyam bhavati. Now, next came Ashvaha, Turagaha, the horses came. Gavo, Dhenavaha, Vrishabhascha, Dhenu, cow. Vrishabham, bull. They all came. Now, you should not give me some 10 species and say, what about this, sir? There is one jaguar in South America. See, when one vastu is mentioned, it is an upalakshanam for others. See, if you go to a marriage and you have a sumptuous lunch and you come out full, there is absolutely no space for you to even open your mouth. And you may be just extremely worried if the crows would just end up picking up some pieces if you open your mouth. See, it has not been able to push itself like our traffic. So, somebody asks you, what all you ate? You will not end up telling there is tair sadam. I have had Masuranna, Tankana, Yella Tindini, sir. Hangadre, at least 15-16 dishes have gone inside. So that curd rice is the upalakshanam for all the others that you ate. Similarly, when I say cow and this thing, somebody will cut this and say, see, he likes only cow, he's a Hindu. He is not talking about dog. What will Obama think? What will this person think? All that comes under this. So, Dhenavaha Vrishabhascha. Ubhayadataha. What is Ubhayadataha? Interesting. Ubhaya means two. Ubhayadataha. Those which have 2 rows of teeth. So, Ubhayato Dantaha. They will have 2 rows. So they are called Ubhayadataha. So he says everything that you see with 2 jaws, rows of teeth, they were all born. Namaskaram Astikas. I'm tentatively scheduled to travel to 7 cities in the countries of Australia and New Zealand, namely Adelaide, Perth, Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, Auckland, and Wellington between the 25th of February and the 25th of March. And later, I'll be rendering discourses in New Jersey, Boston, Maryland, Pittsburgh, and then in St. Louis and Indianapolis in the month of July. I'm sure you would love to share this message with your friends and relatives.
Dear Astika reader, I'm happy to be authoring a two-part book on the Ramayana in English. The first part is slated for release in the year 2024. The book aims to recreate and retell the Ramayana of Valmiki, conforming to the ancient commentaries and other allied literature. To receive notifications of the book release, kindly register with www.deshikadaya.org/books. Namaskaram.